All right. Good morning, everyone. Feel free that you guys can wrap up your photos. That'll be here for a while, but we're all here today. Be brave, be bold, be you. The path to possibilities, the path to opportunities, and the path to the future. Who is excited to hear John and Mark Cronin speak today? That's actually really, really good. Thank you. So I'm Sarah Cinquini. I'm also Advocates for Life Skills and Opportunities Stewardship Director. What does a Stewardship Director do? Well, I get to bring ALSO's mission, which is to promote the full inclusion of people experiencing disabilities in the life of their community, like today, bringing us all together. We are going to leave here today a stronger community. So thank you for being here. Give yourself a round of applause. Pat yourself on the back. We're all doing great. We're doing great. I was not your regularly scheduled MC today, but there's this thing still called COVID. And so we're all experts at pivoting at this point, so that's what we're doing. And we're still going to have a great time. I'm going to do a few logistical things for all of us. There is a photo booth. It's going to be here afterwards as well, so feel free. And you might want to ask John if you want to take a photo with him. I'm sure he'd be more than willing to to do that. Thank you, John. We also, just so you know, too, I see some of you are wearing them. We do have some pins. They're on a table over there and a table out front. We have a photographer here. If you do not want your picture taken, if you're wearing one of those, that will let us know. We really appreciate that. And I want to do some thank yous today. We have Marty. I think she had to leave, but with Burkhart Flowers has donated all the beautiful flowers here today. So thank you, Marty. The Portland Hilton staff, so great today. The great food, breakfast, we really appreciate, and the amazing staff working the AV for us. We have Fame here today. Thank you, Fame. So excited. And I've never seen Fame live before. I've only seen you online performing, so I'm really excited to see that live. We have our photographer, Melissa Toledo, is over here. Thank you, Melissa. And of course, we have Gigi's Playhouse with Nikki and Brad Johnston are here. And all the ALSO staff, I know there are sprinkled about here. Thank you for being here today. And Mark and John Cronin, thank you. And just to let you know, today is really financially possible through the Higher Education Coordinating Commission through their Workforce Ready grant. So we really appreciate them as well. So to get us started, we're gonna just move a little bit and play a little game. Not a big game, it's not a, but if some person, I know there's only a couple people at some tables and I don't know, you can play it together or if you wanna join a table, that's fine too. But I would like if one person from every table could hold up one of the GG Playhouse, just one person. Just hold it up, just say everyone has one at the table. Okay, that's all right, and you can put it down. Just keep it in front of you for a second. All right, and then someone pick up the also. Is there an also booklet? A different person. It's got to be a different person. Hold on to that. All right, and then we're going to have a third person, and if you have a fourth person, hold up a napkin. Do you guys still have napkins on your tables? Okay, hold that napkin. All right. John, we'll pick a number between 1 to 12. 10. All right. So you're going to take those items that you have in front of you and you're going to pass it to your left 10 times. Give you a minute. No, you can do it at your table. Just do it at your table. Yeah, sorry. All right, we're still passing. We're good, all right, we're slowing down. We're still passing over here. All right. Okay. Who is holding the Gigi's Playhouse? Hold it up. You have a job to do. Your job today is to make sure that everyone at your table, and I know some of you are sitting with people you know, but you might not be, is to make sure that everyone at your table knows each other's names before they leave today. That is your job. All right. All right. All right, the next person holding the also booklet. Does everyone have? Let's see who has it. All right. Your job is to tell the table why you're here today. And this is a judgment-free zone. You can be as honest and we don't need a TED Talk about it. It can be very simple. But share with your group. All right. I really appreciate you just jumping in and doing that. All right, who has got a napkin? Are you nervous? Yeah? All right. You guys are officially the cleanup crew afterwards. I'm just kidding. All right. Give yourself a round of, well, let's do one more round of applause for ourselves. We're doing great today, right? All right, next, I have two very important people that I want you to meet that helped brought this together today. And today really would not be possible without the generous time of Mark and John and the collaboration, our new friendship between Gigi's Playhouse and also. Thank you, yay. The opportunity for today happened pretty fast, and we all just jumped right in with big dreams to bring us all here together. We wanted as many stakeholders in the room together as possible. Families, people supported, state and counties, business leaders, community members, community members. So we're really thankful that we have this opportunity to be together. So we are going to hear from two people really quickly, and that I know want to thank all of you for being here today and share a few things before we kick it off. I'm going to read this because I'm like, not to be serious, but like it's important, and I want to share a little bit about Brad Johnston from Gigi's Playhouse and Brett Turner, the CEO of Osso. Brad Johnston, who joined Gigi's Playhouse team in 2022, he's a proud grandparent to 9 grandchildren, including Jack, born in 2019 with Down syndrome. Brad is a retired technology executive who spent his career leading global and national teams for companies such as AT&T and Cisco Systems. He views Gigi's Playhouse and programs as a national best practice in servicing the Down syndrome community in Portland with education, therapeutic, and life skills training, and enriches lives and engages the community. And from my own personal experience, he has an abundance of positive energy that literally flows from him. So really excited to have Brad here. And then I'm not gonna read Brett's because I know him a little bit better. I'm do a little bit more off the cuff, but he has 2 decades of hard work at Osso. And before that, he started, even before that, as a direct support professional. He's a father to 5, and I consider him probably one of the quintessential Oregonians. Loves the outdoors, loves good food, and he's always up for an adventure, which I think are the triad of the Oregonian. His commitment to the people that Osso supports and his staff is truly heartfelt. Through his leadership, especially I joined during COVID, I have seen Osso grow so much, like just internally as teams, but also in terms of the services and supports we provide. We were providing supports in 4 Oregon counties. In 2020, we now provide supports and services in 9 Oregon counties. He is always listening and learning and bringing that back to Osso to provide with the purpose to fulfill our mission and the purpose to provide the best person-centered services that we can. And he's also tied for the top boss I've ever had. So I would like to welcome to the stage Brad and Brett. Are you okay holding a microphone? Is that okay? Yeah. And I'll have you pass it off to Brett.
Thank you, Sarah. And Brett, thank you. You guys are tremendous. As Sarah mentioned, Nikki and I are proud grandparents to some beautiful kids, all of them. I'm sure if any of you are parents or grandparents, you know that. Jack was an amazing experience for us as well, and that was our ticket to this community. And we've learned so much. Jack was born just before the world locked down in late 2019, and so we were a little delayed getting involved, but we're here now. And so let me share just a couple things about Gigi's. First of all, of course, those of you that held up the Gigi's pamphlets know that they're right there in front of you, but Gigi's steps into the gaps. There are gaps when moms and dads get a diagnosis, and there are informational gaps. My daughter experienced that. There are gaps when a child is learning to walk that might have conditions that prevent that, such as Down syndrome. There are gaps in special education when that child is a school age. There are certainly gaps when that child transitions beyond school, and issues like employment and housing are so critical. Gigi's plays a part in that, also plays a huge part in that, and we're here to fill gaps. We are bringing a Gigi's Playhouse to Portland. It will be the 59th such location around the country. And last year, Gigi's delivered 200,000 free programming hours, but none of them were in Portland. So we are in contract negotiations and lease negotiations right now for a space. We have an east side and west side location, and we're all hoping and praying that we can have something signed this summer. But these events and these conversations with family members, ecosystem partners, and our community are so important to us. And I just thank you so much for being here, and invite you to join our journey to bring Gigi's to Portland. My wife and I have lived in Portland for 25 years. We're proud Oregonians, and with no better place to raise children. But Portland needs Gigi's just like they need also. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Brad. Thanks for partnering with us. Thank you, Sarah. I think that was the kindest introduction I've ever had, ever. So thank you so much. Well, I'm going to tell you a little bit about my journey and why I'm standing in front of you today as also CEO. I've had the great pleasure of serving as also CEO for the last 18 years, 2 decades now with also. I actually started out as their associate director, but as Sarah mentioned, I actually started 33 years ago. And not that I'm not proud of doing this work for 33 years. The only shame, I guess, if I could use that word, is the fact that I'm old enough to have had a job for 33 years. So this is the reason why I struggle. But anyway, that 33-year journey has been quite a journey. Early in my career, some of my early work was helping people come out of the institution and support them in the community movement into group homes. And actually, that's the evolution of how ALSO existed. ALSO started 25 years ago for that very reason. And to this day, actually, when I started working at ALSO in 2003, that's the one thing that the organization did. We had residential homes. And today we don't call them group homes. It's common language in our industry. But the idea of supporting people in groups is a thing of the past for ALSO, and we really are focused on supporting people individually. The evolution of the organization, we have an array of services that we call Live, Learn, and Earn, and I'm not going to go into a whole lot of detail about each one of those. I'm going to focus more about employment services today, the Earn bucket list of that, bucket, and why that's so important to also our communities, and why it's so important to me and why it touches my heart. So going back those 33 years, the reason I'm standing in front of you, I actually had aspirations. I was going to be a firefighter. I thought maybe I'd own a small business, a construction company. And some people have told me over the years that I look that part. Apparently I don't look the part of a CEO of a nonprofit organization that supports people with disabilities, but this is my career. Like it or not, this is where I've landed, because the people I've worked with and around have touched my heart over those years. And it took me a long time to realize that that supporting people in the way that we do today didn't happen overnight. It was probably about, another shaming part. It took this long for me to figure out that that many of the people that I worked with and around, many of which I call my dearest friends, if you were at one of our tours, you would see a picture of Sonia, somebody I supported 25 years ago. She worked in this place that sorted hangers, and she came in every day, took a hanger off this big pile, and sorted them in racks. I know none of you here probably know who I'm talking about, but Sonia is an incredibly intelligent human that had a lot more to offer than sorting hangers. And the sad part of all of that is that she only got paid about 10 to 15 cents a week to do that work. This is the kind of stuff that motivates me, and I wish 25 years ago I was a better advocate for Sonia. But anyway, thankfully we've evolved in that, and also has evolved based on what people and their families ask us to do, and which is why we have a whole bucket list and array of services today, because constantly people say we want this, and we're not exactly sure how we're going to figure that out, but we'll go along the journey together, and that is actually how it also has evolved to what we are today, why we're in 9 counties throughout our state. We are headquartered here in Portland. We have 350 employees, what we call advocates, that support people around the state, that help people live, learn, and earn in their communities, to help people thrive in the way that they all do today. And one little snippet of story I'm going to tell you, 2 things actually. One is, as I was telling you, people that I was working with around not only didn't have or paid or had work that was something that they would have been proud of or be proud of, they actually didn't have those identities. Sarah mentioned who I am. Quickly you're going to learn that I have a wife, I have 5 children, and I'm a proud CEO of an organization to support people with disabilities. That's who I am, that's my identity. Many of the people I worked with and around didn't have those identities, and thankfully that trajectory is changing, and we continue to see that happen on a day-to-day basis. But I was telling John and Mark as I was talking to them a few minutes ago, I think oftentimes people, when they hire people with disabilities, they think of like somehow it's doing good work for their community, and it's some kind of like almost charity work. And that's not what we hear day in and day out. Actually, what we hear day in and day out is the people that we're supporting in businesses all throughout our communities literally change the way that the performance happens at those businesses. And it's truly not charity work at all. It's we continually hear day in and day out, some of the people we're supporting are employees of the month, literally change the businesses that they all work in. So it's truly an honor to do this work, and thank you, Sarah, and all of the Also team and Brad for partnering with us to put this together, to share our story. And thank you, John and Mark, for traveling all the way out here from New York. Anyway, so thank you.
Thank you both. All right, I know that your thoughtful leadership, both of your thoughtful leadership, is appreciated and also admired, so thank you. All right, well, now we're going to jump into something really fun. We have some great performers here. They're going to get us pumped up for John and Mark. I'm going to just share a little bit about FAME with you. FAME is a school of the arts and performance. Their classes range from musical theater to songwriting, from digital photography to poetry, and I just learned this morning one of our performers is also a mindfulness teacher, which I thought was amazing. Their performance program puts students in front of audiences in Portland and beyond, like today. They are also a community, a place where people with and without disabilities come to connect, make friends, learn, and grow. FAME, they're creating art and expanding possibility. Everyone, welcome to the stage, FAME.
Anne-Marie Flass and Ashley Parrott.
together, and still it's farewell, and maybe we'll come back to earth, who can tell? I guess there is no one to blame. We're leaving ground. Leaving ground. Will things ever be the same again? It's the final countdown. The final countdown. Oh, we're headed for Venus. Venus. And still we stand tall, 'cause maybe they've seen us and welcome us all, yeah. With so many light years to go, and things to be found. To be found. I'm sure that promise is so. It's the final countdown. The final countdown. The final countdown. Oh.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Soloists on this next one are David Hutzler, Andrea Tolbert, Pat Hansen, Debbie McKnight, Elena and Kim, and Leah.
And prepare to be Rick Rolls. Yeah. Push your hands together.
Yeah.
We're no strangers to love. You know the rules, and so do I. Our poor commencement's line, thinking of you wouldn't get this from any other guy. I just want to tell you how I'm feeling. Gotta make you understand.
Never gonna give you up. Never gonna let you down. Never gonna run around and desert you. Never gonna make you cry. Never gonna say goodbye. Never gonna tell a lie and hurt you.
We've known each other for so long. Your heart is aching, but you're too shy to say it. Inside we both know what's going on. You go the game and we're gonna play it. And if you ask me how I'm feeling, don't you tell me you're too blind to see.
Never gonna give you up. Never gonna let you down. Never gonna run around and desert you. Never gonna make you cry. Never gonna say goodbye. Never gonna tell a lie and hurt you. Never gonna give you up. Never gonna let you down. Never gonna run around and desert you. Never gonna make you cry. Never gonna say goodbye. Never gonna tell a lie and hurt you.
Never gonna give, never gonna give.
Give you up.
Never gonna give, never gonna give.
Give you up. We've known each other
For so long, your heart's been aching, but you're just trying to say it.
Inside we
Know
both know
what's been going on.
We know the game,
And we're gonna play it. I just wanna
tell you how I'm feeling.
Gotta make you understand.
Never gonna give you up. Never gonna let you down. Never gonna run around and desert you. Never gonna make you cry. Never gonna say goodbye. Never gonna tell a lie and hurt you. Never gonna give you up. Never gonna let you down. Never gonna run around and desert you. Never gonna make you cry. Never gonna say goodbye. Never gonna tell a lie and hurt you. Never gonna give you up. Never gonna let you down. Never gonna run around and desert you. Never gonna make you cry. Never gonna say goodbye. Never gonna tell a lie and hurt you. Thank you. Yeah, so Elena Wilkins and Kim Forer were the full names of Kim and Elena, who soloed on that last one. And this next one, this is our last song that we have for you. We have Leah coming up again, Charlie Kralian, and Andrea coming up again for a solo.
We are doing Uptown Funk, so if all of you want to dance around, do it.
Yes, please. Please dance.
Yes.
Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do.
This hit, that ice cold, Michelle Pfeiffer, that white gold. This one for them hood girls, them good girls, straight masterpieces. Stylin', wildin', living it up in the city. Got chunks on with Saint Laurent. Gotta kiss myself, I'm so pretty.
I'm too hot, hot damn. Call the police and a fireman. I'm too hot, hot damn. Make a dragon wanna retire, man. I'm too hot, hot damn. Say my name, you know who I am. I'm too hot, hot damn. And my band about that money, break it down. Girls hit you hallelujah, woo. Girls hit you hallelujah, woo. Girls hit you hallelujah, woo. 'Cause Uptown Funk don't give it to ya. 'Cause Uptown Funk don't give it to ya. 'Cause Uptown Funk don't give it to ya. Saturday night we in the spot. Don't believe me, just watch. Come on. Do 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 do. Don't believe me, just watch. Do 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 do. Don't believe me, just watch. 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 Hey, 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 oh!
Stop. Wait a minute. Fill my cup, put some liquor in it. Take a sip, sign a check. Julio, get the stretch.
Ride to Harlem, Hollywood, Jackson, Mississippi. If we show up, we gon' show out. Smoother than a fresh start skippy. I'm too hot, hot damn. Call the police and the fireman. I'm too hot, hot damn. Make a dragon wanna retire, man. I'm too hot, hot damn. Say my name, you know who I am. I'm too hot, hot damn. And I brand about that money, break it down. Girl said she hallelujah, ooh. Girl said she hallelujah, ooh. Girl said she hallelujah, ooh. Cause Uptown Funk gon' give it to ya. Cause Uptown Funk gon' give it to ya. Cause Uptown Funk gon' give it to ya. Saturday night and we in the spot. Don't believe me, just watch. Come on.
Do 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 do.
Don't believe me, just watch.
Do 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 do.
Don't believe me, just watch. 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 Hey, 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 ow! Before we leave now, I need to tell y'all just a little something. Say Uptown Funk you up. Uptown Funk you up. I said Uptown Funk you up. Uptown Funk you up. I said Uptown Funk you up. Uptown Funk you up. I said Uptown Funk you up. Uptown Funk you up. Come on, dance, jump on it. If you sexy, then flaunt it. If you freaky, then show it. Come on now, let's talk about it. Let's dance, jump on it. If you sexy, then flaunt it. Well, it's Saturday night and we in the spot. Don't believe me, just watch. Come on.
Do 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 do.
Don't believe me, just watch.
Do 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 do.
Don't believe me, just watch. 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 Hey, 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 oh! Uptown Funk you up. Uptown Funk you up. Say what? Uptown Funk you up. Uptown Funk you up. Uptown Funk you up. Uptown Funk you up. Say what? Uptown Funk you up. Uptown Funk you up. Uptown Funk you up. Uptown Funk you up. Say what? Uptown Funk you up. Uptown Funk you up. Uptown Funk you up. Uptown Funk you up. Say what? Uptown Funk you up. Uptown Funk you up.
Thank you so much. That was amazing. Wow, what a great, definitely feel pumped up for John and Mark right now, right? Oh my word. All right. Well, awesome, thank you. Well, I guess this is a perfect time to introduce John and Mark, who we're all here to see today. I cannot tell you how excited I was to meet these two men. If Brad has the abundance of energy that flows him, these two have the abundance of joy like no two people. From the moment we met them, John Cronin and his dad Mark are more than just engaging speakers. They are entrepreneurs, they are philanthropists, humanitarians, and leaders. They are a father-son team that created John's Crazy Socks, a social enterprise with a mission to spread happiness. They bootstrap their business into the world's largest sock store. Every day, John and Mark show that people with differing abilities can do more than half their colleagues with differing abilities can do. And they show their gratitude through their Giving Back program that has raised over $550,000 for their charity partners. It's amazing, amazing. They are fierce advocates for people with disabilities. They have testified twice before the U.S. Congress. They've spoken at the United Nations. They have a TED Talk. I have a podcast, a YouTube channel. And most of all, and most importantly, they are spreading happiness, one pair of socks at a time. Please welcome to the stage, John and Mark. Okay, you're good on your, you're gonna do right there? All right.
What do we do here? Okay. No, what do you do here? Oh. Just speak loudly so people can hear.
Okay, I'm here.
Okay.
Hey everyone, welcome, good morning, Portland, Oregon.
So, we want to take you back to the beginning. This is a picture of John on his first day of life. We did not know that John would be born with Down syndrome. Here's how we found out. The covering OB came into my wife and myself and said, "I'm so sorry. I have bad news for you. It appears that your son may have a slight case of Down syndrome." It was awful. All we could do was look at her and say, "Hey, that's our boy. He's our son." And most of you here will know how you get Down syndrome. You have a little bit extra. All of us humans are born with 23 pairs of chromosomes. People with Down syndrome have an extra 21st chromosome, and it gives them that little bit extra. I used to think it was like an old-fashioned Chinese menu. You get everything in column A, and you get to pick and choose from column B, except you don't get to do the picking. So in column A, something that all people with Down syndrome share: intellectual development disabilities, low muscle tone. It takes John more energy to walk across a room than it would us. And some are inconsequential. If you look at the palm of your hand, you have 3 creases running across your palm. People with Down syndrome only have 2. And that other list, those are things that people with Down syndrome are more likely to develop. So on day 3 of John's life, he needed intestinal bypass surgery. It's like about 10% of people with Down syndrome, his intestines were not fully formed. We did not know if he could survive that operation. So we brought a Catholic priest into the hospital to baptize him. And John, like about 50% of people born with Down syndrome, had a significant heart defect. He had 2 holes in his heart. He couldn't grow. His heart couldn't keep up. And before he was 3 months old, I held my boy in my arms, and he was literally turning blue in full congestive heart failure. He needed open heart surgery. And again, we did not know if he could survive that operation, but he couldn't live without it. And as he grew, John faced certain struggles. We were talking about language. John couldn't really talk. He learned sign language to communicate, used an assistive voice device. So I ask you, look at that baby. What chance did that baby have in our world? What could become of a child like that? And the answer is, he could grow up to change the world. This is John testifying for the 2nd time before the U.S. Congress. As I said before, he didn't have to be subpoenaed. John, in fact, and we'll tell you the story, had the idea to start what is now the world's largest sock store. Spoken twice at the United Nations and has been named an EY Entrepreneur of the Year. If there's nothing else that we leave you with today, we want you to think of those possibilities. Think of the possibilities in each of us. Think of the possibilities in the people we meet, so that Brett can spend 33 years changing people's lives, and Brad can come up with an idea. If I rub my hands together hard enough, we can create something magical. Think of those possibilities. That's what we want to leave you with. So now, you want to introduce us, pal?
Yeah, Dad. Good morning, Portland, Oregon. I'm John. They're my partner, my dad, Mark. We are John's Crazy Socks.
And what's our mission?
Our mission is spreading happiness.
Spreading happiness. Now let me do a proper introduction of John. So let's see. You are an entrepreneur.
Yes, I am.
You're a sock tycoon.
Yes, I am.
You are a public speaker.
Yes, I am.
You donate a lot of money, so you are a philanthropist.
Yes, I can flap my wings.
It's hard following fame up here, but you're a dancer.
Yes, I am. I'm a very good dancer.
You've been a Special Olympic athlete for 22 years, so you're an athlete.
Yes.
You're a good friend.
Yes, I am.
A good brother.
Yes, I am.
You broke up with your girlfriend, so
Oh, yes.
what are you now?
I'm single. I'm 27 and I'm usable.
And he's eligible. You notice John is all of these things. And he has Down syndrome.
Yes, I am. I have Down syndrome. Down syndrome never holds me back.
Down syndrome does not define who John is. So today we want to share a few things. We're going to talk about overcoming obstacles, and really we'll tell you the story of how we created John's Crazy Socks. We'll talk about creating a unified workplace where people with differing abilities work side by side, neurotypicals, and why that works and matters. And we'll talk about how we need people with differing abilities to contribute and why businesses would benefit from hiring them. So, we'll go back to the beginning, and our story starts in the fall of 2016 in a small log cabin in the woods.
No.
No. Where were you?
I was at Huntington High School. I could be my last year of school.
We're out on suburban Long Island, outside New York City. And John was going to be turning 21, which means he would go over that 21-year-old cliff last year of school. Like everybody else, you were trying to figure out what comes next.
Yes, I like a job, program, and school. I can't find a great option I don't like.
He didn't say anything he liked. And this is awful, but it is too typical. Only 1 in 5 people with a disability are employed in this country, and it's awful. But John here, John is a natural entrepreneur.
Yes, I am.
You didn't see a job you wanted, what'd you say?
I want to create one. I want to make one.
And what'd you tell me?
I told my dad I want to go business with him. A nice father and son business together.
So I'm a lucky man.
Yes, you are.
I've got 3 sons, and this is one I could work with.
Yes, I am.
So there we are, and we're going to create a business. But we had to figure out what were we going to do, right?
Right, Dad.
And John, you had a lot of ideas.
I do. I have brilliant ideas.
What was one of your ideas?
One of them is a food truck. I come idea from the movie called Chef, John Favreau. It's a neat movie about a father and son bonding over food truck.
So this sounded like a fun idea, and we're thinking, what could we make, and where would we put that food truck? But we ran into a problem.
Wicked cook.
Yeah. But then, right before Thanksgiving,
I have brilliant ideas. I want to sell crazy socks. Why socks? It's fun. It's colorful. It's creative. It's always let me be me. I want to create sex my whole life.
Like a true entrepreneur, John wasn't looking to ask permission. He was, okay, we're going to do this. Now let's figure out how we're going to make this happen. Right? So we went the lean startup route. We didn't develop a detailed business plan. You know, Brad, I know you got lots of plans for Gigi's Playhouse. We went a different route. We said, let's get something up and running, and we'll see how customers respond. So you already had the name.
Yeah, I got a name, I do a website, come out ideas.
We built a simple website, got a little inventory. We were bootstrapping. Now, we got asked once by a student, what exactly does bootstrapping mean? It means you have no money. So you got to make do with what you have. The only marketing we did was to set up a Facebook page, and I would take out my cell phone, and we made videos. And who do you think was in those videos?
I talk about socks. I had a catchphrase. Socks, and more socks.
And what day did we open?
We opened on December 9th, 2016.
On a Friday afternoon, we didn't know what to expect. That first day, we got 42 orders. It felt like a flood of orders. And most of them were local. We lived in the town of Huntington. He was in the high school. We had temporary office space there. So how did we deliver those first orders?
Our home deliveries, we get red boxes, show you the pictures here on the slides. I take a picture with me.
We got these red boxes. We put the socks in the box.
Yes.
Looked at it and said, this needs something else. So what else did we put in?
I put a sticky note, I personalized, I wrote, and a candy.
We got bags of Hershey's Kisses, poured it in the boxes,
Yes.
loaded up the car, drove around, and
I
you
drove
knocked
around.
on doors and delivered socks.
I did.
How the customers respond?
Customers love saying, take a picture with me and a sock, that was so acceptable, and share on social media. Would I get a spread?
We had customers ordering again just to get John to come back to their door. And there were some funny moments. I don't know what it would be like here in Portland, but, you know, it's just the two of us. So there were some nights, it's after 10 o'clock at night, and John's knocking on doors saying, you know, just John with your socks.
Just shoot me.
So at the end of that month, really 2 weeks, we had shipped 452 orders. And we knew at that point that we had something that could grow. We didn't know how fast, we didn't know how large, but we learned a few things. One,
people want to buy socks. 2, people want to buy socks from me.
they related to John. They liked that personal touch of the thank you note and the candy. They liked the fact we had already pledged 5% of our earnings to the Special Olympics, and something that caught us by surprise. We got a very emotional response from many people because they saw a young man with Down syndrome starting a business. And you learn by doing, so we learned that this young man,
This old man.
we could sell socks. So that was 6.5 years ago. Here, Lou, show a little video. Right, we're trying to entertain people. Can you play the video? Tell you a little bit about where we are today.
My name is John. This is my partner, my dad, Mark. We are John Quintus Socks.
And what's our mission?
Our mission is spreading happiness.
How many different socks do we have?
We have over 3,000 different kinds of socks.
You know what that means? John here is the owner of the world's largest sock store.
That's right.
And we have built our organization on 5 pillars.
1, interest and hope. 2, give it back. 3, fun products you can love. 4, make it personal.
And 5, make this a great place to work. Are you spreading happiness?
Yeah.
A place where people are valued and respected and can do their best work. Making it personal, what goes in every package?
I'm thinking it for me and candy.
And every packing slip has a picture and the name of the person who packed that order. Fun products you can love. We have to be a great e-commerce business. What we've created brings the power of business and social mission together. Pretty good.
Pretty awesome.
Giving back is baked into everything we do. We started by pledging 5% of our earnings to the Special Olympics. John here has now donated over $450,000 to our charity partners and over $100,000 to the Special Olympics.
I should get started.
Just getting started now.
Are you being a wise guy?
Yeah. The most important pillar to our business is inspiration.
And hope.
We want to show the world what people with differing abilities can do. More than half our colleagues have a differing ability because we focus on what people can do, not what they can't do. We are not blinded by somebody's limitations. We are awed by their possibilities.
Every day, I am always excited to work here.
What I like working is just being able to help others and being a team player.
I feel understood here. Like I can relate to these people because they all have disabilities and so do I.
That's not altruism. It's good business. They are ready, willing, and able to work.
They work so hard. It's incredible.
We've been so fortunate in what we've been able to do with this business, and it's given us a platform. That creates an obligation for us that we have to go and speak for others who may not be able to speak for themselves.
I want you to know what people like me can do. Give it a chance. Good job.
Because at the end of the day, we're a couple of knuckleheads selling socks, right?
Yeah, we are.
But all we want to do is change the world.
Absolutely.
Okay. See if I can get past this to the next slide. No? Okay. So yes, we have a simple mission.
Spreading happiness.
And what do you say are the keys to happiness?
All that matters is gratitude and do for others.
And we spoke in that video about our 5 pillars. I want to just hit on 2 of those. One is giving back. It's not enough just to sell stuff. You got to give back. You got to contribute. It's what you've been doing, Brad. It's Brad and Kim, what you're doing in setting up Gigi's Playhouse. So we started by pledging 5% of our earnings to the Special Olympics. And why the Special Olympics?
I am a Special Olympic athlete.
Right. But we've gone on to create products that celebrate causes and raise awareness and raise money for those causes. So what were the first awareness socks we had?
The first one is a Down-to-Term awareness socks.
And who designed those?
I did.
Right. And they raised money for the National Down Syndrome Society and a local group, ACDS. But we've gone on to create autism awareness socks and cerebral palsy awareness socks. We just introduced our adoption awareness socks to celebrate families that adopt children. And our charity partners include the Autism Society of America and United Cerebral Palsy, and now the Gift of Adoption. We sponsor an Autism Can Do Scholarship, which is now 3 $5,000 scholarships. Anything we can do to give back and support organizations that are showing, look what people can do. But the most important pillar is the idea of inspiration and hope. Let's show the world. So we start with John. You have Down syndrome?
Yes, I am.
We don't hide John in the back. He's the face of the business.
Yes, I can be in the front. I can be front. I'm a fit of the business.
More than half of our colleagues have a differing ability. We've been able to create 34 jobs. 22 people have a different ability. But that's not enough. I want to show the world You want people to see. So we host tours in our operations. We've had more than 2,000 students come through on those tours. We host work groups, so students and clients and social service agencies can get a taste of work. We've had more than 1,000 students come through. We do these speaking engagements. Speaking to groups like this, you're our tribe, right? It's self-advocates, it's their families, it's organizations working with them. But we also speak to employers and policymakers. Show, don't tell. And we're always making the business argument. And as we said in that video, the business has created a platform for us to come and speak. I mean, look at this. We're in Portland, Oregon.
Oh yeah, Portland, Oregon. I love Portland.
Right? You've invited us to speak.
They're amazing.
And I'll share an anecdote of what I mean by that. So one day we were down in Washington meeting with some legislators, and we got a phone call from a customer in Houston saying, you know, I hear Mark and John are going to Capitol Hill today. Well, my mother works there, and she's a big fan of John's. Do you think it would be possible for my mother to meet John? And our colleague said, sure, here's Mark's cell phone number, have your mom text her contact information. Well, who was mom?
Nancy Pelosi.
Nancy Pelosi. So we get escorted in to meet with Ms. Pelosi, and you know, we're in a bad way in this country. We disagree with people, we vilify them, and we lose their sense of humanity. So I don't care where you are on the political spectrum. Among other things, Nancy Pelosi is an 80-year-old Italian grandmother. She comes out and greets John warmly with hugs, and she took out pictures of her and former President Bush the elder, George H.W. Bush, because John had somewhat famously become sock buddies with the former president. And she had pictures of socks she had given the former president. And all this is warm and wonderful. But you see, now we have this opportunity. So then it's, but Ms. Pelosi, we do have to speak to you about repealing Section 14C of the Fair Labor Standard Act of 1938 that allows businesses to pay people a sub-minimum wage like you spoke about. So there are 140,000 some odd people today being paid as little as 25 cents an hour. And if we're going to get to talk to you, we're going to talk about repealing that. And that's part of what we get to do. And you roll all that up, and you get John's crazy socks, and even since, you know, doing this little video, now, how many different socks do we have?
We have 4,000 different kinds of socks. I am right now the world's largest stock store.
That donations have now exceeded $625,000. We've now shipped 420,000 orders to 88 different countries. But if we get an order between our office and our home, what are you doing?
I'm still doing a home delivery.
But let's talk about creating. Let's see, am I on the right slide here? If I can keep picking this. What we've wanted to create is a unified workplace where people with neurotypicals, if you will, work with people with different abilities. And as Brett said, this is not charity. If you got to know us, you would find out that John here is a very nice guy. I am not. If you are going to work with us, you're going to produce. We don't give jobs to anybody. We hire people because they can do great work. And in fact, over our nearly 7 years of business, in our warehouse, we've pulled from 3 labor pools. People with different abilities, moms, there's some dads in there, because we schedule people in 4-hour shifts. So you can put your kid on the bus in the morning, come to work, lifting socks is not heavy labor, and then go back and pick your kid up. And then laborers who want a starting wage of $15 an hour. By far, the best labor pool we have are people with different abilities. They want to be there. They're focused. They work hard. They do a great job. So let's dig in a little bit on this hiring. So if you think about our business, there are two big parts to it. You can think about the front end, that's running the website, designing, sourcing socks, running social media, all those business things. Plus, we run our own warehouse and do our own fulfillment. Anybody who sells online, you have to fulfill your orders. Warehouse services are a booming business in the United States because people order so much online. So you got to run a pick and pack. You can outsource it. Many businesses do. We run a pick and pack warehouse. What are our pickers called?
Sock wranglers.
Sock wranglers. And here's how we hire our sock wranglers. First, you have to be able to work on your own. You have to be able to get to work on your own. Your parents, a job coach, a staff person can bring you, but they can't work with you during the day. We literally would not have enough space in the warehouse for that. And then you're going to meet with John and me because we want to make sure you understand our mission and our purpose. And we also want to make sure that you want to be there, that you're not there because mom and dad want you to be there or because a job coach wants you to be there. Then we provide training. One of our current sock wranglers will train you, and they love doing that. You've trained people, right?
I trained.
You like that?
Yes.
And when you're ready, you have to pass the sock wrangler test. You can train as long as you'd like. That's up to you. Some people, after half an hour, say, I'm ready, and some people, after 3 weeks, say, I'm ready. In the sock wrangler test, you have to pick 6 orders in 20 minutes or less. You have to show us you can do the job. There's nothing extraneous. And that's part of the challenge in hiring people. Hire for what the job is, not for what it's not. If I'm starting a basketball team, even at his advancing age, I probably want LeBron James on my team. I don't care what his SAT scores were, and I don't care if he can do geometry. I want to know, can he play hoops? For our sock wranglers, I want to know, can you pick sock winners? And that's part of it. And what are some of the results? Ooh, we have another video to show you, I think. Can you play the video? Yeah. We'll show you one of our sock wranglers at work.
Hi, I'm John, and I'm going to be picking an order.
We only hire people named John.
Thank you guys for watching.
Okay. And we can go to the next slide.
Hi, I'm John.
There we are. So what are the benefits? What are the benefits of running a unified workplace, of hiring people for what they can do, not what they can't do? Well, morale is up. In an age of the big quit, where 4 million Americans quit their jobs each month, nobody leaves. We have great retention. Actually, I have to take that back. We did have one person leave, and I blame John. It's entirely John's fault. That's because Christy, who ran our social media, left to become a special ed teacher and said she was inspired by John. Productivity is up, right? We have to run a great e-commerce business. So if you order from us, we do same-day shipping. Our error rate is less than 0.3%. And we will match that with any fulfillment shop in the country and beat them. We do better shipping than Amazon. And Jeff Bezos over at Amazon, he's not putting a thank you note and candy in those packages.
No.
Right? And hiring people with different abilities helps us recruit other people. So at a time when people can't find enough good workers, we have a surplus of candidates. Those are the benefits of hiring everybody that can do the job. So we have a changing world of work, and I want to speak kind of in two ways on this. One is I want to speak to businesses. We have a growing labor shortage in this country. Businesses can't find enough good people. And yet, we have this vast untapped pool of labor. This is so obvious. Why don't we do that match? And as a business owner, I can tell you, when we go to hire, we want to hire the best possible people we can for the wages we can afford to pay. If you artificially exclude a population, you cannot hire the best possible people. I'll give you a parallel example out of American history. 1947, the then Brooklyn Dodgers broke the color barrier when they signed Jackie Robinson, the first black American to play in the major leagues. The next teams to integrate were the then Cleveland Indians and the then New York baseball giants. Guess what? They became the best teams in baseball. So think of that as a business. Once they said we are going to hire based on what people can do and based on their performance, they outperformed all of their competitors. That's the lesson. And it's not just small businesses like ours. Give you an example, we've used this one before with some folks. You've probably heard of this small software company based in Redmond, Washington, called Microsoft. So Satya Nadella, their CEO, has a son with a disability. And he picks his head up and says, how come we're not hiring more people on the autism spectrum? Many of them are very good technical people, programmers. Well, we know the answer. Because they may not pass the interview. They may not look you in the eye or give you a firm handshake, neither of which has anything to do with writing code. So they're pretty smart people at Microsoft, and they changed their hiring practices. They now hire lots and lots of people on the spectrum, and that gives them a competitive advantage. Or let's take this small accounting firm, EY. They used to be called Ernst & Young. They changed their name to EY. Go figure. They have 300,000 employees worldwide. Try to grasp that. 300,000 employees. And they have a 20% annual turnover rate. That costs them billions of dollars. So let's go to Dublin, Ireland. And the local EY office works with Trinity College to set up a training program. And they hire people out of that program with different abilities. What do they see in their office? Instantly, everybody is happier. Productivity picks up, morale is up, retention greatly improves. Now imagine applying that across all 300,000 people. Hiring people with differing abilities is not altruism. It's good business. And for those of you who have a different ability, those of you who are looking for work, we need you. We need you in our communities. We need you making a contribution. We're depending on you. Please don't give up on us. We're screwing up all the time. Don't lose hope. We need you. And I I want to close with, we can talk about numbers. Let's see if I can go back. I went one too many. There we are. Brett spoke about identification on our job. So I'll just give you a couple examples. And one of our colleagues, I think he's one of our longest tenured people, Andrew.
Yeah, Andrew, yeah.
So Andrew was actually a classmate and a friend of John's. And his parents enrolled him, got him his benefits. They're very good, they're on top of things early on. So he was getting SSI payments every month. And they didn't take any money from him, so if you know the way the program works, he had to spend that money each month. Now, if you gave me that money and said, Mark, could you spend it? Oh, about 15 minutes, and later it would be gone. But not Andrew. Andrew didn't care. So every month there was a fight between Andrew and his mom as she fought with him to spend this money. But now Andrew gets a paycheck. He doesn't want that direct deposit stuff. He wants a paycheck. He knows when he's getting it. He knows how much money he's getting. He has his mother take him right to the bank, and he knows exactly what he is doing with that money because that is his money. You feel differently about it. And we'll tell him about Thomas.
Yes, Dad.
This is Thomas here in this picture. So we first heard from Thomas's mom in October of 2017. She called up and said, I hear you hire people like my son. I want you to give my son a job. And our colleague spoke to her and said, well, that's nice, but we don't have any openings. We'll post them when we do, and Thomas can apply. Well, she called every day because she's a mom. And I spoke to her and I said, tell me about Thomas. She said, well, Thomas is in a bad way. He has autism. He's in his early 20s, but he's in his bad way. He's very depressed. He won't join any programs. We have trouble just getting him to come out of his room. He won't shower or shave. And he hasn't spoken to his father in over 6 months. Sounds like a wonderful employee. And when we had an opening, Thomas came out. And he passed that sock wrangler test as if he was put on this earth to be a sock wrangler. Today, Thomas is up at 6:30 in the morning, showered and shaved, waiting for his father to drive him an hour to work. And the young man who wouldn't look at you or talk to you comes in and goes around the whole building wishing everybody a good morning. And I want to be clear, we did nothing. We have no special programs, no special training, no government support. All we did was give Thomas the opportunity to earn a job. And he does great work. And it becomes transforming. That's what employment can do for people. That's what we need to do. So, we'll leave you with this idea that a better world awaits. If I look at, just what you're doing with Also, what you're doing with Gigi's Playhouse, the reason you got up here in the morning and came out, a better world awaits. It's better today than it was when John was born 27 years ago. And what we're doing is working to make the achievements of people with differing abilities less remarkable. If you walk out of here today and stop at a Starbucks and you see somebody working there with Down syndrome, you're going to say something. You're going to remark to somebody. You're going to come home and tell your spouse. We want to get to the point where you don't say anything, where that becomes typical. And John,
Dad,
you want to offer advice for people?
I do. Follow your heart. Follow your dreams. Work hard. More importantly, show you can do.
So, thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Pretty good?
Pretty good,
You
yeah.
happy?
Yes, I am.
We'll be glad to take questions, and somebody asked before, John will be glad to take photos, or dance with you, whatever you prefer.
That would be amazing. Do you have time for Q&A? Were you down for it?
We are yours for the day.
Excellent. We are going to have a microphone, so if you have a question, we have someone we can walk around. I'm going to start it off, though, and just what's the future for John's Crazy Socks?
What's the future? Well, I can tell you business stuff, right? We sell directly to consumers through our website. We sell business to other businesses. Lots of people want custom socks. And here's for us, exciting news. We're now selling in the retail channel. So, selling wholesale. So in fact, by next month, we'll be in 856 Kohl's stores. But really, what's it about? We're trying to we want to grow the business, and I feel pressure on this, so we can create more jobs and reach more people. We do have a couple of initiatives. One of them, we're going to make a movie. The filmmaker who made those videos, we're going to make a movie that will profile self-advocates who own their own businesses. And we're enrolling a program called JCS Champions. The idea is to put people with different abilities into their own business by giving them a business in a box. What they'll be able to do is sell our products at craft fairs, farmers markets. It'll be a micro business, something that will work within the benefit levels. We're going to provide 6 weeks of training. At the end of that, we'll provide you with selling stands, inventory, signage, and then ongoing support. We're going to enroll the first 5 people in September. You got to have your guinea pig class. But our target is to create 1,000 businesses over 5 years. We want to light up the country and show, look what people can do. Not a franchise, this would be your business. And you can sell anything you wanted. We're going to get you started. So you can keep it small, you can grow it large. Yep. So these are some of the things we have on the agenda.
Nice. Just a follow-up question to that. Will that, they can apply through the website?
Yep. There's information you can do now. We'll open applications shortly. We both want to, how many of you here own your own business? We both want to excite people with the possibilities and scare them, because it's work, it's grit, it takes some grit. You show up at that farmer's market, you sell 2 pairs of socks, you can't quit. You got to figure out, okay, maybe I need to be in a different position, or I need to speak more or something, so, yeah.
All right.
Who had the idea to make the mission of John's Crazy Socks spreading happiness?
As it's my idea, as it's my idea, and I want to look something fun and creative, and I can tell you a little joke. I'm down a basement and I'm busy knitting the socks.
You're not down the basement knitting the socks. But it was John right from the beginning, saying, I want to sell socks, I want to make people happy. And here's something. Thankfully, you're too young to have been through this. Some of you others have not been. You avoid this. You go on a corporate exercise to go maybe on a retreat or an afternoon exercise to write the company mission statement. And you parse the language and you come back and you put it on the wall and nobody pays any attention. It means nothing. That spreading happiness, yes, it's on our wall. We have signs, but we talk about it every day, and it's the criteria we use to make decisions about how we're going to spend our money and our resources and put our energy. We're hoping, speaking to you today, that we're bringing a little happiness, right?
Right, Dad. I should get started.
John, I was wondering, what type of crazy socks are you wearing today?
Today I'm wearing a Down Syndrome superhero socks. I also have my face on it.
He designed the superhero socks, and they just happen to have his face on the superhero.
Also, I wear a cape.
Do you have a favorite sock?
Yes, My favorite sock is a Donald Trump Iranian socks, a 3.1, in a fuzzy socks. That's my favorite. I'm gonna tell you a little secret. Every weekend, only the weekend, and not on work days at work, only the weekend on Saturday, I'm wearing a poop emoji sock.
You could take the boy out of junior high. Can't take the junior high out of the boy. John's answer to that question has evolved. He doesn't do well with what's your favorite. He doesn't like to pick favorites. But then he realized over time, people just keep asking that question. So it would be easier if he had an answer.
Is there an age requirement to starting your own business with John's Crazy Socks?
Yeah, you got to be out of high school. And that's the same with our employment. You got to be out of high school. I referred before to the 21-year-old Cliff. Anywhere in the U.S., you can stay in the public school system until you either graduate or turn 21. In the challenge, I was talking some about this with Brad before. Our big picture view of this is that we've made tremendous strides on the medical arena. John's a good example of that.
Right.
A few years before he was born, they were not doing that heart operation. We've made great strides there. And we've made great strides in the educational arena. And I understand there may be some issues going on here in the local public schools. And it varies from state to state. But in general, we've made great strides there. And so there you are, healthy, educated, and ready to go. And we have a big nothing. And people like Brett and the Also organization are working to change that. But it's hand-to-hand combat. He's working every day to show other businesses, I'm sure you get frustrated because you get the positive feedback. And so you would think other businesses would copy it, but you have to, each one of them, you kind of have to work through, convince them this is a good thing to do. A good business thing to do.
Anyone have a question? I've got tons of questions, so I could just from your perspective, at the legislative level at the state capitol, or in Washington, not the state capitol, sorry, national, what's holding us back from making these changes?
Have you noticed what's going on in Washington? So, here's an example. We do a lot of work with the National Down Syndrome Society. Back in April, they had their annual Hill Day of advocates going around meeting with legislators. And we've gotten to know the members of Congress on Long Island, except for George Santos. I don't think George Santos knows George Santos. So we went in with a couple of asks, and we know them personally. One was join the Down Syndrome Task Force. They did it right away. We spoke to them about the sub-minimum wage, and there's a bill now that's been working for several years that would put money out to help those sheltered workshops transform, but would eliminate the 14C certificates that allow companies to pay minimum wage. Oh, we should do that. Everybody's in agreement. Let me follow up on that. But they haven't signed on because they have to get the go-ahead from the party. So that bill has bipartisan support, bipartisan sponsors. Kathy McMorris Rogers from next door in Washington State is one of the authors of the bill. It takes time to get legislation through Washington. It can take years. If you're familiar with the ABLE legislation, that took more than 5 years. What gets frustrating is when you look and you don't see any real opposition. What you get, and we see this a lot, elected officials coming, they want to come through our office and they want to get photos. So we go to Washington and, one time, it sounds like name dropping, we're down there and Kevin McCarthy is walking along this a few years ago. and he sees John. He says, wait a second, is that John? I want my picture taken with John. Well, that's wonderful. But let's do something about it, damn it. So there's a lot, we'll join a Down syndrome task force, but let's pass legislation that says the NIH should be devoting more research towards Down syndrome. And you can't give up hope. You have to keep knocking on doors and keep finding ways. That's why I say, they'll listen to us, but then we have to speak up and be on it. Does that answer your question?
Yeah. Is there a piece of advice for all of us or an action item for all of us to help? What can we do?
Yes. So connect with an organization. NDSS is very good about it. You don't have to have Down syndrome. They're very good about staying connected and then make your voice heard. Legislators want to know about people in their district. Make a phone call, send an email, send a letter, ask to meet with them, make your voice heard. It turns out they want to be reelected, they listen to people. And then tell others about it. Get others to do it. That's how you bring about change.
Thank you. Really appreciate that. All right, we have a question in the back.
What challenges or mistakes that were made in the early years are now strengths in the company?
Well, we made lots of mistakes. Some of them are comical. We told you the first day. What day did we open?
We opened December 9th, 2016.
What time were we going to open?
We're going to open at 10 in the morning.
But what happened?
Our website crashed.
Because our webmaster, me at the time, screwed up the code. So we opened in the afternoon. And there were other little things, like we didn't have much inventory. So we sold so much in the first 2 days we were selling out. And now it's Saturday night, we're running out of inventory, what do? We drove to every Kmart in Suffolk County to buy whatever socks we could so we would have inventory. I think some of what we learned, here's some ones that once we started making our own socks, we wanted them all made in the US. And I thought that was part of our mission. It took some time to realize that's really not essential to our mission. And it turns out the knitting trades left the US decades ago. It's not just a matter of cost or price. It's availability, it's technology. So that was something. It was learning and realizing it wasn't right away. We bootstrapped, which is all wonderful and fine. And this may sound counterintuitive, but growth is very expensive. So by 2019, we had grown nicely. We had profit our first 2 years and had great revenue numbers. By the end of the year, we were almost bankrupt because we didn't have any capital. I remember talking to my accountant saying, but wait a second, where's all the money? He's like, Mark, let's go look in your warehouse. There's all your money. So in 2020, we signed a strategic partnership with a third-generation family business that manufactures socks. They've been doing it for 60 years. So that was something we learned, that we really needed partners that knew what they were doing. That made a difference. You asked, what's our future hold? Something we've been very good at is coming up with lots of ideas. Too many ideas. You have to narrow it down and keep us all focused, because if you try to do too much, nothing gets done. So we go through a planning exercise each year and really limit what we're going to focus on. And some of that, for me personally, if I go away to a conference, I'm one of those scary people. I come back with 50 new ideas. people run and hide. So I've learned to say nothing, to wait at least 2 weeks and pick and choose before I get all excited. Does that answer some of the question? We do have an aesthetic of ready, fire, aim. Not to suggest that you just fly off the handle and do things, but let's think enough, close enough to write, and get going. And then you'll learn, as you go.
What is your favorite memory from your years of business?
Do you have a favorite?
What is
Favorite
it?
memory?
Memory?
Yeah. What's been the best thing about it?
I forget.
You forget. Told you, it's not good with those favorite things.
Um,
What are some of the things you've liked?
I love everything. I had to pick one. My favorite moment that I did when I first speaking.
Oh, you like speaking. That's your favorite moment today. Speaking engagement.
A speaking engagement, because one thing I remember that I want to thank to my teachers.
Go ahead.
Because this is more important to me. I want to stay here right now. I want to give a shout out to my great teachers my whole life. Miss Lee, she is my speech therapist, and she the one helped me at my public speaking, and it's so inspiring me every day, and every day, and I'm just last good teacher, Dr. Maria Sasson. She the one make me more independent I can be, and I know I show positive every day. And last one, that I told you I went to Harvard High School. I split my time in Wilson Tap Park Ground, Western Brooksies, right in New York. I studied retailing. Right before I started my business, I would give a shout out to my Miss Capignoni. She's my retail teacher. She taught me a lot of things in my life. I started in my business. Thanks to my own teachers, or my public speaking.
So that's pretty cool, right?
They're my
Gratitude
family.
matters.
Gratitude.
If you ask me, we've been incredibly fortunate. Look, again, here we are, we're in Portland, Oregon, speaking with you. How wonderful. And we've been, John introduced the New York Knicks before 22,000 people at Madison Square Garden, or to testify before Congress, to just sit there for a moment and say, oh my gosh, look what we're doing. Or speak at the United Nations. There are a lot of things like that. But the best thing is during the holiday season when we are busy and our place is full. And we have maybe 50 people working there. And it is so full of life and vitality. There is nothing better in the world. I wish we could bottle that up and give it to people. That's the best thing. It's so cool. We're so lucky. Right,
Well,
Bud?
we're so lucky to have you here today.
Thank you.
So grateful from the bottom of our hearts. It is a pleasure to meet you now, to know you. Some of my favorite John Crazy socks are your Mr. Rogers socks. And even though we live across the country from each other, in the words of Mr. Rogers, won't you be my neighbor? It's perfect. And we really appreciate the time. I don't know if we have any more questions. Oh, no, all right.
Do you have a monthly subscription to your socks?
We do. We
Yeah.
have a sock of the month. Go ahead.
I just put that to you by we have such a month club. Every month, each month, I'm gonna get one pair of socks, one pair of socks for men, women, and kids. I got one subscription.
So It's a monthly subscription. People love it as a gift. You get the thank you note, you get the candy. It's your
Yes.
monthly dose of happiness. You know, it's kind of funny. You know, we could talk about socks. We could drill down and talk about socks, and it sounds pretty cool to say we're the world's largest sock store. We're not outselling Walmart and Target yet. But if you think about it, at the end of the day, we're not really a sock store. The socks become the physical manifestation for the story and the mission we're on. And how cool is that?
Very cool.
Where do you get your ideas for the design?
Everywhere. Everywhere.
Anywhere. Everywhere.
Some in his head.
I cover my head.
Customers.
Customers.
All of our employees. I mean, that's part of
Yep.
part of the diversity of let's get lots of input. I'm a fat 65-year-old white guy from the suburbs. How am I going to pick socks for you? I can't. But what I can do is put out a selection and get enough different people that we can put out a selection and you'll find something that you'll love.
Maybe a Portland sock?
Portland socks could be great. We put the Portland, the Michael Graves building on the side of the sock.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
That'd be,
I was thinking more the Portland Trailblazers.
could be.
Oh, all right. Well, we really, truly are grateful for your time. John, would you be up if people are up for some photos?
I'd love to.
Yeah, and we have Flash Photography, PDX.com with us today, so we'll have some time. We also have some extra T-shirts. Feel free to grab a couple for people that you think that might enjoy them. And we are very excited to have you as our new friends.
Right, and you can connect in lots of ways. We're on a little hiatus on our podcast. What's the podcast called?
The Spreading Happiness podcast.
But also, we can invite you. What do you do every Tuesday afternoon?
Every Tuesday, I host our online dance party. Every Tuesday, 3 p.m. 3 p.m. Either time is at 12 o'clock your time.
Because during COVID, everybody's locked down. If you have a mission to spread happiness, what better way to spread happiness than host a
Yes.
dance party? We do a Facebook Live show roughly 7 o'clock every Wednesday night. We did it from the Phoenix airport last night. But, you know, just ways of connecting. So. And buy some socks, please. You know, I know it's summertime, but.
Well, winter is coming soon, right?
Right, right. If you're sure
John
that.
taught me that.
Yeah.
You're sure that.
I
Game of Thrones, you know, they're always talking winter is coming. For us, summer is coming. You know.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay.
John and Mark Cronin, everyone.
Thank you. All right.
Oh, yeah, Dad. I love you.